Objects in the Batcave. How did they get there? Discreetly. Today we're looking at one of the more iconic items, the dinosaur. A giant T-Rex is most definitely a conversation starter, and you may have at times found yourself wondering, where did he get that? Well, wonder no longer, for we're going back to the golden age so that you can find out. I'm Sasha, this is Casually Comics, and I'm always excited to talk about a tale from the golden age. So often when we go back, we only go as far as silver, not as far as gold, and they're very different from each other. The code makes a big difference. The pre-code comics go hard, sometimes in surprising little ways. It's always a treat to go back and revisit them. Our quest for the dino's origin takes us back to Batman 35 from the year 1946, and it's the second story in the issue entitled Dinosaur Island, written by Bill Finger with art by Paul Cooper, inks by Ray Burnley. The story was reprinted in Batman 256 in 1974 in a special issue that detailed the origins of a bunch of items from the Batcave. It also had this cutout of Batman looking absolutely enraged as he described it. It's wonderful. Let's take a look at it.
I obtained from my battle with the Catwoman a splendid trophy, her cat o' nine tails.
What are you gonna do with that? Where are you keeping it? I don't see it on display in the Batcave. Where is it, Bruce?
And while we're in my trophy room, let me show you a few other mementos. One of my most impressive ones is a giant model dinosaur. And if you think bagging that baby was easy, let me fill you in.
The story's also been reprinted in some archives and the Golden Age Omnis, so basically if you're looking for it, you can find it. Many ways. It's also digitized. Our premise is wonderfully off the wall and yet potentially highly familiar, particularly for the modern reader, but this is just an idea that people like revisiting. Mr. Hart, a master showman, has just come off a successful show, an aquatic carnival, which does sound very delightful. He's looking for his next hit to delight and titillate the public. I got it, this million-year-old mammoth they just found frozen in a glacier. I'm inspired.
Yes, Mr. Hart.
Prehistoric mammoth found in Siberia, perfectly preserved by glacier. Minutes later, a new Murray Wilson Hart production is underway. Gang, do you know we're the biggest things that ever walked on Earth? The dinosaurs and other monsters of the prehistoric ages. And other monsters? Come on, just dinosaurs. Commit. I'll lease an island for the super spectacle. We'll call it Dinosaur Island.
Yes, Mr. Hart.
I'm pretty sure only yes men work for Mr. Hart. He should look into that. I, for one, cannot wait to visit the 1946 edition of Jurassic Park. It's not as advanced this time because they're using giant robots. Or are giant robots more advanced than clones? Or on par? What do you think? They're gonna try to kill you either way, so you're still gonna get the full PTSD-inducing experience. Mr. Hart has gone all out with the island's attractions. Robots! Right, electrical controls will run them. My mechanical monsters will almost seem alive. Up there will be robot cavemen who will throw rocks of sponge and spears of cardboard at customers. Somebody's getting sued. This is a disaster waiting to happen on so many fronts. And it gets worse. Is it true you're giving a dinner for big game hunters and that they'll eat steaks cut from that frozen mammoth found in Siberia? Yes, meat millions of years old should be tender. Batman and Robin will be guests of honor. I don't want to go to Dinosaur Island anymore. Getting killed by the robots is one thing. Horrible prehistoric food poisoning another. Batman and Robin accept this invite because it's amazing. But the evening soon takes a bizarre turn. And on the completion of Dinosaur Island, gentlemen, though they are not animal hunters, Batman and Robin belong here since they hunt the most perilous game. Man. Yay, he said it. I disagree. A modern manhunt wouldn't compare with a dinosaur hunt. This is Mr. Breach, and he seems like he has too much money and would definitely run the most dangerous game. Hunting man. But as it stands, he wants to see Batman fight a giant dinosaur. And with no gadgets, no utility belt, no extra help, just man in a costume versus dinosaur. Mr. Breach is gonna be a big fan of Predator. Batman, you're a product of the 20th century. Your utility belt, Batmobile, plane, etc. are the weapons of your hunt. But the caveman, he fought enemies barehanded. Could you?
Not having lived then, I can't tell, Mr. Breach.
I believe Batman can take out any and all robotic dinosaurs with that chin. Look at it. Criminals beware. So it's gonna be a tag thing. Whoever can either take down a dinosaur first with a tag, or if the dinosaur touches them. And Mr. Breach will control one of the robots. He really just wants to control a big robot and fight Batman. I mean, who doesn't? Winner gets money for the charity of their choice. Well, now they have to do it. It's for charity. Think of all the orphans Batman can buy. But Breach is not our villain. He's just an eccentric millionaire. No, our villain is Mr. Stephen Chase, in case you couldn't already tell by his snidely whiplash mustache, which has reached perfect twirling length. Chase, what are you I'll take the binoculars and the robot controls. There must be no hint of murder tomorrow. Poor Breach will commit suicide in remorse because he has accidentally killed Batman and Robin with one of his robots. Oh, the golden age, where you could still just casually mention suicide on panel. The rest of the story is Chase toying with them as they very quickly realize that something is wrong and the robots are really trying to kill them. Steven is also going to announce himself and his intentions, as you do. It's only polite. It's villain etiquette. The name is Chase. We met at the dinner, remember? I'm going to murder you, Batman, and make your death look accidental so that the underworld will be rid of you. Tally-ho, Batman. Tally-ho.
This is no longer a game. We're fighting for our lives now.
How very energetic. I can make them expend more energy. I'm really enjoying this very much. While it's good to enjoy your work, Chase's enjoyment will be his downfall. Because he's gonna let opportunities to kill them slip by so he can draw out the chase, the hunt. That's better. Oh, breach. This adventure is like jungle chess. Batman, Robin, and the robot monsters are the pawns, and I am the master chessman. Me, Stephen Chase, the master of jungle chess. Complete side note tangent. There is a game, a chess game, which I played, and it was an older game. It came in a cereal box. It was on an old disc, and all of the characters were personified, and one side was a punk side and one side was a more medieval side, and they battled each other, and the animations were gruesome and like heads were coming off and all kinds of stuff. Please, if anybody remembers the name of this game, please tell me. The one queen had almost like a mohawk type thing. Please help me. Anyway, I'm so sorry. You were here for a T-Rex. Where's the T-Rex? We get to see it the next day because Chase lets them live overnight. And Chase is riding it, which is pretty awesome. He most certainly is making the most out of Dinosaur Island. Batman and Robin have a plan though. They've managed to harness a pterodactyl, and Robin has used the wings to make a glider, and somehow they've gotten some water balloons and they dumped some on Chase's controls to short it out. So Chase wanted to seize control of the crime in Gotham, as you do, and what better way than to kill him with a giant robot dinosaur? The money still goes to charity, right? That was $5,000. That's 1946 $5,000, so that's almost $79,000 today. Inflation is wild. Now you don't see Batman take the dinosaur to the cave, but it's this story that's going to be referenced in future stories as to where he got the dinosaur, which is interesting because he also fought a giant mechanical dinosaur in Batman number 10. This was in 1942 in the story The Isle That Time Forgot, which aside from having him fight dinosaurs also opens very awkwardly. I need to share it with you. Be haunted with me. Across the calm face of a sleeping unsuspecting lad falls the dark shadow of a groping hand. Steely fingers clamp tight on the boy. A strong hand rises, falls, slaps sharply against yielding flesh.
Wortham was awful, but were we too mean to Wortham?
Ow, hey, cut it out. Ow, what's the deal? Ouch, ow.
1, 2, 3. Have you forgotten Dickie? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ow, what are you spanking me for? I didn't do anything bad. Ow.
And 1 for good measure and 1 to grow. Happy birthday, Dick.
Huh? Yeah, I'd pick issue 35 too. Odd intro aside, this is a pretty fun short story. They end up on an island fighting a giant dinosaur. It turns out it's part of a movie shoot, and so they end up as part of the movie. The dinosaur is a prop and they leave it there. But you could have spun it that it was given to them, but that's not the story that's referenced. Because when you see it later in issues like Batman 48 from 1948, where a criminal has infiltrated the Batcave, the dinosaur has a label under it that reads Dinosaur Island. You know, in case he forgets. Or to brag to his friends that he's been to Dinosaur Island. Have they been to Dinosaur Island? The answer is simultaneously maybe and which one, because there's more than one. The other Dinosaur Island has real dinosaurs on it. Take that, Mr. Hart. But does that one offer you questionable ancient meat? I don't think so. World's Finest 39 from 1949 also has the Dinosaur Island label on it, so it's pretty firm that it came from Batman 35. It's a minute detail and some of the minutiae is left up to you to discern. Decipher. How did he do it? Did they drive it there? Did they put a big tarp over it? Did they dismantle it and then he reassembled it in the Batcave? Let your mind run wild. It's a cool addition to the cave, and occasionally, since it is robotic, when people remember that, those aspects can be worked into stories, and the dinosaur can do stuff. So that was the story of how Batman got his dinosaur. Was it what you expected? Are there any other cave items you want to discuss? I was just joking, by the way. The Cat of Nine Tails is in the cave sometime. We already talked about the penny, so I'll link that down below, and I want to hear all your thoughts. And while you're down there, please do all the YouTube things like share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking some time today to spend discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.